Black Rockers United. Shout out to Brew founder Nate, and let's welcome our guest, Julie Outrage. Julie O.
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up?
Hello, Julie. How are you?
I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm just, living. I'm alive.
Live. You
Yeah.
wavy? Uh,
Not quite, not quite, not quite. I've been on my
not
best
quite.
behavior today. I've been on my best behavior today.
Listen, it's been a bittersweet year, but what a great wrap up, like for you to come up with your new EP, right? The latest
I'm
song off
excited.
your EP, and your songwriting skills really came through. Can we hear about that?
Yeah, sure. So for that song, actually, it was like a really interesting situation. Basically, I had a producer from Montreal hit me up and he was like, "Hey, can I make a beat for you?" Like, "Oh, it'll be something just like whatever, simple or something like that." And I was like, "Yeah, cool, send it to me." I wasn't expecting anything at all. Like he was not really hyping himself up. So I checked it out and I was like, "Damn, this is dope. This is like sounding like, some beat or something like that."
It
And
was.
yeah, so there was like this bass line that was great, this synth line. So I just messed with a couple of things with it, but it's basically what he sent me. It's a person that I had never met before in my life.
Wow.
Um, and I kind of like already was inspired to have some lyrics just like up front when I heard the beat, and that's just how it went.
Vibe. So you already had your songwriting, but then he mainly came with the sick beat.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Nah, yeah, I was shocked. I was like, why you downplaying this song? Like this is
yeah. I mean, it's hot. How did you feel like getting into the studio, as it were, and making it? It came out so solid.
So I recorded it in my house, so I didn't have to go anywhere necessarily. So you got to experiment with a lot of things. I mean, I think with any song that I put out, I'm always like, damn, I wish I could have done more with it. I think there's definitely more I wanted to do with that song. But I also know that if it was up to me, I probably wouldn't even be putting out music because I'd be like, I have to do this, I have to do this. It would take months for me to probably even put out one project if I was like listening to my thoughts on that process.
Julie, my friend, that kind of piggybacks off of what my Nigerian American friend Ayotunde was saying. Is that like this year is kind of not necessarily downgraded the process of releasing albums, but forced into a space where you might not be as happy with what you come out with, but you still got to put it out. You know what I'm saying? A lot of artists, we've had to kind of shuffle around and taking the time to come out with what we want, but I'm really proud of what you made for sure. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, musicians are perfectionists to begin with, so it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We chatted about artistry before as a process that's forever unexpected, and it reflects our roots and our state of mind very well.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think it's hard to write outside of what you're feeling. So I know some people try to force things. Like there was a time where I was like, I really want to make like hype, happy music and stuff. And I was working with a friend of mine who's a guitarist, and it was just never really coming out. And I was like, oh, maybe it's just because the chord structures that I'm used to are just too down tempo. And he was like, well, but if that's what you're making, that's how you feel. I mean,
You feel
if it's not coming out, it's not coming out.
that's a vibe.
Yeah.
They were right. You're always going to grow as an artist. You're always going to have different like mindsets, and
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah. That's for
But
real.
I like hearing that from you because it's very affirming as I make my own music, and for everyone listening out there, it's a process that you're gonna feel like a perfectionist about, but it's still gonna shred. You gotta do it anyway.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that for sure.
You do it, Julie. So can we hear your diasporic story from Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso, to Brooklyn and the New School, and then DC?
Yeah, so I was actually born in Dakar in Senegal, but I came here when I was really young.
Okay.
But my family is from Burkina Faso, like I am Burkina Bay, that's my citizenship. And most of my like extended family lives in Ouagadougou, and my immediate family lives here, like my mom and dad and my sisters. But yeah, all my family pretty much lives there. I've been back about, I'd say like 4 times. And last time I went back was for FESPACO, it's a Pan-African Film Festival.
Incredible.
And I actually missed most of it. I think I came really on the second to last day. So I didn't get to see that much, but it was cool to just be there to vibe with my family and also just to like be around filmmakers, like African filmmakers. Because I'm a filmmaker as well.
Yes.
So it was just cool to link up with people from around the world too. It wasn't just African filmmakers.
But you're saying you felt that kinship, and it was really cool to connect with people that were like you, but they were from the motherland too, different places.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It was funny that night that I came in, for whatever reason, my mom was invited by the president of Ouagadougou at the time to go to his house for the closing of like FESPACO. He invites the filmmakers over on the last day, and I think my mom was invited along with my aunt or something who knew about the event. So the first night I got there, I don't think I even got to go home to change. I think I had to go straight from the the airport to the president's residence. I was like jet lagged. Like my French isn't even that great. My French is okay. Like I can speak to people, but I was kind of like, I'm in an alternate dimension right now.
Exactly. Like there's a lot going on.
Exactly. Yeah.
I bet that was really fun and exhilarating though. Like once in a lifetime kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was definitely a good time. I enjoyed myself for sure.
Yeah. How did that diasporic connection feel, actually touching down on the ground, actually being there?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when I go there, I have been there a couple of times, so I am kind of used to what I'm getting into. But you know, my family still like considers me, you know, an American when I'm there. They're like, you know, you have an American accent, just American mannerisms, everything. So when I go back there, it is kind of like, I mean, I'm accepted, but you know, it's still like this is the American in the family.
I get that. I feel that. And it comes out in your music. And as you're talking to me now, it's a mixture of being here, but it's also being connected to and remembering Africa, you know, without the hyphen. That's really cool.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
here
for
you
sure.
are.
That's true.
And your sound mixes back home in this funk blues rock with kind of like the Afrobeat high life that came through in Wavy. You must have had a really cool playlist in youth as a Burkinabe.
Yeah, my dad listens actually a lot of Afro-Cuban jazz. Is like what he plays in the house a lot. And I don't even know if that's a super heavy influence in my music, but I mean maybe it still kind of shows itself in there.
I guess
Yeah.
just hints of it. Yeah, I'm just like, oh, yeah. When I realized you were from there, I went and did my research and I listened to some of the soul that was playing in Burkina Faso and Mali at the time. And I was like, Julie was so connected to that, even if they weren't necessarily listening to it.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's for real. Yeah, no, there's a lot of good music coming out of West Africa for sure.
Yeah. How does recording come together? Like, where do you typically start? In media res, in the middle, or do you have a particularly...
Yeah, for me, I usually start with the instrumentation, and then I write from there. Sometimes I'll have in my phone, I'll have like in my notes app, like a scattered level of lyrics that I've written that I am ready to put together into a song. And sometimes I'll have like a song that's done, but the instrumentation is not what I want, and I'll use those lyrics to put in another song. Like some of those lyrics from Wavy were in a completely different, very like lo-fi hip hop song that I was working on.
Nice.
That I decided to transfer the lyrics over to Wavy. So sometimes it's just the lyrics I have down, or but it's usually like kind of a little bit separate. I used to sit down and play guitar and write the song at the same time, but now my music is a little bit less just solo guitar. It's more like collaborations with other producers. So sometimes someone will send me something and I'm like, oh, I already feel the energy for this song. Like I already know what I want to write for it.
Yes, I love that coming together moment, Eureka, where y'all just, yeah, it's a perfect note, perfect collaboration.
Yeah, definitely.
Are there any songs that you feel like that about, or any projects in particular? It's just like, dang, everything worked out perfectly. It's cool.
Yeah, I feel like I have some. So I have a single coming out hopefully by the end of the month with some of the guys from Aztec Sun, the horn players, saxophone and trombone. This is a song that I've been working on, I feel like, for like 2.5 months that has been changing off and on. And I got to the point where I was like, you know, the song is like, there's something missing. I was like, it needs something else. And luckily I had someone who put me in touch with Aztec Sun and who organize the studio session, everything. And Aztec Sun was down with it. The guys from Aztec Sun, particularly Wes and Graham. And I recently got their tracks a couple of days ago, and I was like, oh, I love this. I've always wanted horns on my songs. In general, I just love horn sections. If I could be like in a horn band, if I could perform with a horn section all the time, I would be doing that, So yeah, this is cool. This is the first time I've actually had a horn section. Well, actually, it's not the first time I've had a horn section in my songs, but it's one of the first times it's been for like a single.
Nice. Right on. Congratulations. I can't wait to hear it. Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
Things to look forward to for the end of the year and just in general, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, this year, has been a very, of course, like horrific year for the world in general. But, sometimes it's just like on a personal level, I've been able to do more work than I have in other years just because I have less opportunity to go out and have things that are pretty much what I would just call distractions,
Clutter.
Yeah, you're just kind of forced to be with yourself. And some people can like lose it and go completely mad. But, if there's one thing I enjoy doing by myself, it's playing music,
Yeah.
And to be honest, I go into hermit modes on and off in my life. So I was like, okay, well, if it's hermit mode, I can do it. Like, I can be a hermit, so I mean, not for too long. I'm definitely not like a hermit, but yeah.
You have your isolation points before COVID because you're trying to get stuff done. And sometimes, there's a lot going on. So you gotta take a step back,
For sure.
People have to give you the space to do it, and then your art grows from there, and you grow from there.
Yeah, definitely.
By the way, I don't remember where I read it, but I love that, like, the word that autocorrected your last name is Outrage. So what's your actual last name? Like, because that's dope.
Oh yeah. So yeah, my name would always be autocorrected in college. Actually, it was always autocorrected to Outrage, and I remember I told my roommate about it, and she was like, "Just go by Outrage. It's cool." Actually, she was like, "It's a cool artist name." I was like, "Yeah, it is kind of cool, and it does actually fit my personality pretty well." I am not gonna tell you my last name, just because I'm like a little secretive about it.
No,
but yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, because I always think that's very kind of interesting, that colonial pop-up on the autocorrect with a lot of our last names. If they don't fit into that, particular module, it's like, we're just going to autocorrect this to something cool. Do you mind?
And yeah, my last name does start with OU, so it's getting close, yeah.
That's dope. Hey, so are recent concerts like Black in Space and Songbird reminders that stage is home, even through COVID?
Yeah, Black in Space was a live stream one that I did at my house, and the Songbird one was at the actual venue. So I feel like, as musicians right now, we all have to adapt to this new world we're in. And it does remind me definitely that I love performing live and I love performing for people. Unfortunately, with the live streams, you're really performing to cameras. It would be cool to have, people on screen and everything, but at the same time, it's not a live performance. I mean, Songbird felt a little bit more like what I'm used to because we are at the venue and the band is there. We're together. But yeah, it's been kind of tough, honestly, being able to feel the energy of live streams. Mm-hmm. I mean, as a filmmaker, I kind of feel like I have a little bit of an advantage because I already have, cameras and audio and I can edit my own stuff. I know for other musicians, it's definitely not that easy to be, constantly doing live streams. But as someone who's already a filmmaker, I kind of know how to do those things. So I'm lucky in that case. And I actually am okay with performing for cameras. Like, it's kind of weird matrixy, but like, as you can see, I'm like all about the matrix.
Yeah, you're kind of immersed in it now. You're like, this is where I'm at. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I hear you, hun, because I was talking to the brew crew about, it's not quite the same. Like, you're getting used to it, but you kind of miss the intimacy of actually being there in person with folks and being like, this is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's still nice to be able to perform with a band, even though, because that's not it. That's not a given either.
Yeah. When's the last time that you got to perform with a band?
Actually, last night I did a live stream last night with
Cool.
with my band at my bandmate's house.
How
Yeah.
was it?
It was good. It was technically not a live stream. It was a pre-recorded performance for a live stream.
Very rad.
That's gonna be happening like later this month.
I'm so excited. Yeah,
Yeah.
right on.
Yeah, it was fun though. It's always cool. Like I hadn't seen one of my bassist friends in probably maybe like a year and a half. So
Whoa.
that was the first time we've linked since then.
Right on.
Yeah.
Oh, musical reunion and just friends, you know? You know each other for a while. And it's nice to have that kinship and play together. I'm sure it helps the synchronicity 100%.
Right. Yeah, it definitely does for sure.
Yeah, so that feeds into the next question. What's the difference in your prep nowadays versus pre-pandemic?
So my prep for like live streams and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So really the setup can take a really long time, to be honest. I feel like last night, even for our taping, it took almost like 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours to set up everything that we needed and run through the songs, since, you know, we haven't been able to practice together since we don't have normal band rehearsals. So our practice is what we're going to get done right before we record. So we have to set up all the audio, get, you know, all the cameras together, and then, you know, record the song, which actually really only took about, you know, 15 to 20 minutes. But all the setup prior to that was definitely a long time. But as far as my regular situation with playing shows, I mean, normally it's just band practices. You know, we have, I don't even really have that many band practices before shows, just because I'm definitely really heavy on improvisation. And I usually play with a lot of different people, just some of my different musician friends. And I like having shows be different every time. Like I don't like to play songs the same way every time for every show.
No, that's totally a vibe, and that's valid because you want it to be fresh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So
Sure.
are you more into improvisational, or are you just kind of half and half in terms of pre and then on stage just kind of playing whatever you want in addition to what you know?
I'm definitely heavy into improvisation. Even when I'm doing studio recordings, I don't really have a set thing that I'm playing to. It's even hard for me to recreate my guitar lines because I usually just do a couple of takes and then that's it. Like I don't like to overthink it. I just go ahead and usually my first take is honestly the best. If I keep having to do takes, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And I end up just going back to the first one, you know, and the one that was like uninhibited and wasn't what I was like, what is my voice doing? What is this guitar tone? Let me do a billion different lines. So I definitely am heavy into improvisation.
Yeah, that's how you've gotten some of your best recordings, isn't it?
Yeah. I think in general, I mean, it's nice to be able to set your own tone. I think it is important to, I mean, you have to lay down rhythms and things like that. But as far as guitar solos, I definitely improvise all of those.
Yeah, you do that. I love it. What is one of your favorite things about music?
One of my favorite things about music, I think it's just like the ability to express whatever you're going through. I think it's really cathartic because I was talking the other day with somebody about this, but sometimes when I sit down and write a song, I'll look at the lyrics and I'll be like, what the fuck was that? You know, like what am I going through right now that I was doing that? Or even if I'm like having a jam session and I'm just riffing on lyrics, there's things that come out that I didn't even was not aware of that I was feeling or I wasn't. It's like journaling, you know.
Yes.
You sometimes when you journal, I know there's people who like, you know, every time they journal they cry or something because it's just like they finally were able to express their emotions outside of their thoughts and look on the page and it's like, whoa, this just changed things for me.
Yeah. So it's cathartic and it's conduit for spirit for you.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so dope. Yes. So where is your momentum headed for the future, Julie Outrage? Rocking and rolling?
Yeah, I'm going to LA on Thursday. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I just need some sunshine to be honest.
Yeah,
Like
get out there.
I'm not doing this winter, this excuse my language, this winter shit is for the birds. This shit is not for me. I'm a tropical person. I refuse to live like this. You know what I
Get
mean?
yourself some sunshine,
Right.
okay? Get
Yeah.
yourself some palm trees, Julie. Shoot.
Exactly. Yeah. So but yeah, when I come back, I'm gonna start wrapping up some projects that definitely need to be wrapped up before the year is over, and some music videos and all that.
Love to hear it, Julie.
Yeah.
Awesome. Brew, it's been honored to Brew Talk for the 18th time with Julie Outrage.
For sure. It was great to talk to you. I'm glad you hit me up to do this. This is great.
Yeah, this is amazing. Thank you for coming and bringing your sunshine with us.
The artificial vitamin D.
Like I'm saying, we need it. You're about to get yourself some real sunshine a little bit.
That's for real. That's for real.
We support you anytime, Julie. Don't be a stranger.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Yeah, be safe and take care of yourself out there, okay?
All right, thank you.
Bye.